For the first time ever, a Skyblock update came out on time. This is the biggest update in Skyblock's history, the Dwarven Mines update. Today in this video, we're going to be going over basically every single thing that we know from playing off of day one. So if you're ready for today's episode, please do hit the like button. It means so much for the video. It helps it get pushed out in the YouTube algorithm more. It makes it think it does better. But yeah, do that and also subscribe, since our goal for this year is 100,000 subscribers, which is a lot, but you know what? I think we can do it if everyone presses it. So without further ado, let's get into this update. The Dwarven Mines is the biggest update that's been added to Skyblock, and the most recent update. It came out yesterday as of recording this, and there is a lot to do. In fact, this update is the most confusing update in Skyblock's history, leaving a lot of players stuck. Where do I go? What do I do? What are commissions? What? I'm not ready for a job yet, but today we're going to cover all of that, so don't worry. And the first thing up is actually going to be, what is a commission and how do you do it? Because this is the pretty much most important thing of the update. And to start things off, I'm just going to go over to the main place. As you can see, this room is absolutely massive. There are pretty much, I think there's 7 different zones that you have to go to, and that's where everything is. But once you first go from the deep caverns and you go to the Dwarven Mines, this is where you will spawn. There'll be some NPCs right here and a guide named Riss. Talk to this dude, he'll tell you about all of this stuff, and it's basically going to tell you what I'm going to tell you in this video. And this is where you start off. So the very first thing I would recommend you do is you go over and you find these shops. There are these 2 shops right here. We got, I'm going to call them Babu and Bolvar. Hello, Babu. Babu is going to sell you pickaxes. Now, you're only going to be able to access this very first fractured mithril pickaxe. It's only 9,700 coins, and as you can see on the top, there's a new stat called breaking power that was added. And this means the higher breaking power your pickaxe has, the stronger materials you're able to break. If you take a look at my stonk here, if I undo my scaling, hold on, let me make this gas be quiet. My stonk has a breaking power of 1, meaning it is actually not able to break the new materials that are harder and more difficult to break in Skyblock. Now, if we take a look at the Mithril pickaxe here, this is the one that you're going to buy, and I have a better one right now, but I'll get into how to get this one later because it's actually really cool. But this one has a breaking power of 5, and it allows you to go ahead and break the different materials inside of the mines, and there are 2 new materials that you're going to want to mine. That is going to be your Mithril and Titanium. Now, to get Mithril, you basically break anything in this area. A lot of people are thinking that, oh, I have to break this blue wool, which takes an extremely long time to break. But actually, no, you can break the prismarine, the dark prismarine, and the actual black wool, and even the clay. You can break every single one of these blocks, and depending on which one you break, you'll get more dust, which I'll cover later. But for most of the time, you're just going to want to pretty much sit here and break the fastest ones possible. Now, titanium is able to be obtained by a very rare chance of when you break a block, it'll turn into what looks like an iron block or a quartz block. I don't really know because my texture pack shows them as the same. And it'll basically replace the block, and you're just going to be able to mine it. You're going to be able to mine it with the same exact pickaxe that you started with, the fractured mithril pickaxe. And if you go over here, and this is the easiest part to remember because it's underneath the big gold gate. This is where the King's Palace is. You're going to have to go across this huge drawbridge right here, which, shout out to the builders for making this map. Like, this thing is actually crazy. In the King's Palace, you can go ahead and talk to the king. This king actually changes who it is every 20 minutes. And there's a really, really neat talisman you can get called the King Talisman, I'll show right here, that you get from talking to all 7 of the kings. It gives 1 mining speed and 1% powder from commissions. And this is the guy that gives you commissions. This is the main NPC in the Dwarven Mines. And as you can see, he gives you 2 commissions at a time. Later on, the more you complete, you'll actually unlock the ability to hold 3 commissions, which is nice. And these commissions change every single time you complete them, so it's going to be random which one you have. For me, I have to mine 15 titanium ore, and I also have to deposit 20 tickets during the raffle event. Now, luckily, I just had the raffle event, so we're actually able to collect these, and these give you different rewards based on various things. You actually get more rewards if you do. For the first 4 quests every day you do, you'll get more rewards for it. So there we go, and as you can see, it reset, and now I have to collect 500 mithril powder during a ×2 mithril powder event. Unfortunately, we don't have one of those going on right now, but hopefully we'll find one later on. Now let's talk about the most confusing and most important part of this update, the Heart of the Mountain. If you open up your Skyblock menu, on the very top left, there'll be a Heart of the Mountain item. Now, this pretty much is a skill tree, and if you don't know what a skill tree is, it's basically a tree-looking thing that lets you have different skills. So at the very bottom, you'll see how many tokens you have. Tokens are the currency that you use to buy skills. Every time you level up in tiers, you'll get some tokens. Now, you can spend these tokens in a very specific order. You have to start at the bottom of the tree, and you have to work your way up to the top. Now, you can split off into different categories, but whenever you have something like this one, or the very top, it'll require you to have all of the pre-ones. So if I were to buy the left path, I could go all the way up to here, and then I would get stuck here. And I could go all the way up on this side to this one. I get stuck, but I won't be able to buy this one unless I have both this one and this one, which you can only get from getting the left and right ones. I know that's very confusing, but basically, if you want to do it correctly, go up, go to the left, go up, and then do whatever you want. It doesn't matter anymore, because the very top left here, this one gives you more mining experience, which if you're not mining 50 or mining 60, you're gonna want this one. It's a grind. So as you can see, I've gotten 2 token mountains, and I've spent them on mining speed and mining fortune, since you have to start at the bottom and work your way up. Now, the very, very important currency at the bottom is you'll see Mithril powder. You can get Mithril powder from participating in events, slaying specific enemies, or just mining Mithril in general. I have 12,000 Mithril powder, and you'll see that the actual little abilities you unlock have levels, and you can level these up with Mithril powder. As you can see, this one costs about 6,000 to level up, and I would get 20 mining speed. This one only costs 2,500, and I'd get 2 mining fortune, which is a new skill added into Skyblock I'll cover in a minute. I'm going to level this one up probably once just to show it, and there we go. Now you see I got 2 more mining fortune, and I could level up to level 13, but I want to save my Mithril powder for the later ones. The fastest way to get Mithril powder is just doing the commissions from King every single day, and participating in events. So if you want to get a bunch of that really quickly, just keep playing the update, you'll get a ton really, really fast. Let's go over the new stats, shall we? We have 4 new stats in the game, mining speed, and then the 3 fortune ones at the bottom. The 3 fortune ones are basically replaced with your skills, chance to get double crops and stuff. As you can see, it now upgrades your farming fortune, mining fortune, and foraging fortune, which is really, really handy. It just kind of puts that there. These are not affected by Dragon Pet or Superior or Renown Reforge. Just putting that out there, so if you have a Dragon Pet, sorry, it's kind of useless now. But mining speed is the most important skill, and this is how fast you're able to break blocks. Some of you may have noticed that you're no longer able to do things like farm pumpkins perfectly because you have mining fatigue and you want the admins to remove it. Well, actually, just get more mining speed. The best way to get mining speed right now is to have a full set of Sorrow armor. It's very expensive, so if you're not able to afford it, you can also pick up a set of Goblin armor, which is very, very cheap, and this will give you more mining speed based on how much intelligence you have. Now, if you're a person that doesn't have very much intelligence, you can get yourself the Glaciite armor. This is another set that gives you more mining speed based on your mining level, so pick whichever one is best for you, but if you can, get the Sorrow set. It's absolutely overpowered. It gives you 200 mining speed, 20 magic find, and 80 mining fortune as a full set. Additionally, put your standard enchants on your pickaxe, your efficiency 5, experience, fortune, telekinesis, all that stuff, and the better pickaxe you have, the better mining speed will come with. As you can see, I actually have an upgraded pickaxe that most people don't have yet, and mine gives slightly more mining speed. Now, if you're wondering how to actually upgrade these things, this is where the next big part of the update comes into play, the Forge. If you go over to the massive, massive lava-looking castle thing here, this is where the Forge is. Now, I must say that you actually are required to have Heart of the Mountain level 2 to access the Forge. To level up your Heart of the Mountain tier, just participate in commissions or do events. Once you are tier 2, you can go into this room, and there are a whole bunch of these different little cast-looking things. Talk to one of the Forgers, and it'll open up this menu. Now, at the start, you'll have access to 2 slots, so you'll be able to do 2 things at a time. Now, welcome to the Clash of Clans simulator in Skyblock. Basically, you have 2 options. You can either refine an ore, or you can make an item. As you can see, my pickaxe came from making this item, which requires 30 enchanted mithril, 1 bejeweled handle, and 10 enchanted gold. So basically, I just bought the gold and mithril from the bazaar, but for the bejeweled handle, I had to go to the refined ore section and make this. I just bought 3 glaciite jewels off the auction house, and as you can see, it took 30 minutes for me to make this item. Basically, you click this menu, and if you have the required materials in your inventory, this button will say confirm, and it'll basically start the process of doing it for 30 minutes. Once the 30 minutes are up, you can go ahead and collect your item, then go over to item casting and start this upgrade just like before. Once it's done, you'll be able to pick up your brand new pickaxe. One more note about the Forge is you can actually get a new talisman here, the Titanium Talisman. This requires you to get 2 refined titanium. Right now, they're ridiculously expensive because they currently take 12 hours to make 1, and you could make 2 at a time, but no matter what, this takes 12 hours to do. So if you want, you can buy refined titanium from the bazaar, but I would recommend just doing the upgrades yourself in order to get this new talisman. Next, there's actually a super broken way to get money and combat XP in the update, and what you want to do is go ahead over to the Royal Palace Castle underneath the Gold Bridge, and drop down here to the bottom. There's a couple different places where you could go for this, but it's basically where there's a bunch of fog-looking stuff, and what you want to do is, this actually requires a lot of gear, but there are these little creepers down here, and they do a lot of damage. So what you want to do is only fight a couple of them at a time, because the more of them there are near you, the higher amount of damage they deal. And basically, you just want to drop down here, use a wolf pet, and just start fighting these guys if you have the ability. This is more for a late game player thing to do, since these guys have about 1 million health, and they do a crazy high amount of damage. As you can see, I'm near a bunch of them right now, and they're doing a lot of damage. So I would recommend having a lot of lifesteal, enough lifesteal to actually fully heal yourself. I'm currently using a maxed out Flower of Truth with Siphon 4, because Siphon heals more than lifesteal does now, and I would recommend this. As you see, I'm getting 243 combat XP every single time I slay one of these things, which is like 1000 combat XP every like 4 or 5 seconds if you're able to take these guys out really, really efficiently. Now, they actually can drop these little things called Sorrows and a couple other rare drops, but the one we're most focused on is Sorrow. And this is what you use to actually craft these Sorrows armor. So as you can see, they're going for a lot of coins. But basically, just fight these guys, and you'll get a ridiculous amount of combat XP. The final thing there is to talk about in this update is the new collection they added, and this is of course for Mithril. Now, most of it's just your standard stuff, but there is one thing new. The Mithril pet, and this pet is ridiculously overpowered. So if you take a look here, it only costs about 2 million coins to craft this pet, but if we search Mithril in the little search menu here, you can see the stats of this pet. If we go to lowest, let's find a relatively high level one so you can get the gist of most of the stats. Okay, this one, level 69, haha, funny. It gives mining speed when mining Mithril, which is super good, and it gives you more Mithril powder. This pet is super, super good. But please, please don't pay high prices for it. It legitimately costs 2 million coins to craft. Just be patient, the prices will drop. So don't go spam buying all of them in the auction house. You're just gonna lose a ton of coins. These pets, as you can see, yeah, they're tanking in price. Yesterday they were 60 mil, today they're 6 mil, or 12 mil. They'll probably be 6 mil tomorrow, and they're just gonna go on and so forth. I would recommend not really bothering with a legendary one, because all it does is make your combat stats stronger on mining islands, which no one really cares about because it's a mining island. But you want to get yourself a high level epic because you'll get more Mithril powder, and that allows you, of course, to upgrade more things in the heart of the mountain. That's all I have to talk about for today. Now, this is a brand new update, so obviously there's going to be things I haven't covered yet, and what I want you to do is, if you're still watching this video, comment down things you want to learn about this update, things you want to know how to do. Do you want to know how to get to every single different area as fast as possible? Do you want to know how to get a drill or whatever these things are? I think you can get a drill from the tier 3 heart of the mountain, which no one's been able to get yet. But let me know what you want to learn about this update, and I'll do my best to bring you guides to it. So make sure that you're able to stay subbed to the channel, and actually check if you have notifications on. Since apparently I've never really asked you to turn notifications on, check if you have done it, because it does mean a lot. Makes my videos do well earlier on, which makes them get pushed out more, and more people will see. So that's just about it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Happy mining.